Hello everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you to everybody who's listening right now in the podcast. It is Tuesday, January the 6th, 2026. I'm here to give you breaking news, and this is in regards to the missing teacher, out of Chicago. I'm making this video to create awareness and to basically just give you details, create awareness, and tell you exactly what's going on with her, and in the hopes that she is found safe and whoever is responsible for her disappearance is brought to justice, okay? Because seriously, this is crazy that adults are being kidnapped or being taken away or just basically disappearing in the age of technology that we have right now. We know that somebody knows something, somebody saw something, a ring door camera probably caught something, and this is just creating more awareness so that if you're in the neighborhood, in case you haven't heard this yet, or you have a family member in the neighborhood, or maybe people were away on vacation, you can tell your family member to check their security cameras, check the videos, because this is, it's so crazy. Like I always tell you guys, we live in the age of technology that now you go to a store, you don't buy anything, yet you go home, you get an email about a promotion of an item that you saw at that store, right? That you were just looking at the price, right? And now it's kind of so hard to understand sometimes that when people go missing, yet everything that we do is being tracked, right? There's always a camera, there's always somebody watching, somebody knows something. So let me give you the details, okay? A search is on the way right now in Chicago for a special education teacher who vanished on her way to a specialist appointment over the weekend. Okay, so she left early Saturday, this past Saturday. She left her home on her way to her regular doctor's appointment that she sees. She sees a specialist acupuncture, and this is a very routine appointment that she gets every Saturday. So for her to leave her house in the early mornings to go to this appointment was a very normal thing to do. Linda Brown is her name, 53 years old, who was last seen on January the 3rd at the 4500 block of South Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive near her Brownsville home, according to Chicago police. She was headed to Wicker Park for a regular scheduled appointment, like I mentioned, on a Saturday, but never arrived to her appointment and have not been seen on her ever since, right? So, her husband already did an interview to the press, which to me, to be honest, is kind of very early, meaning that normally you don't see, you hear like when somebody goes missing, this is just my opinion, because the thing is that right now everybody's analyzing that video of the husband, right? And we can be so quick to jump to conclusions. We can go back to the cases that we heard about the person being missing and how we always try to compare and be like, oh yeah, he's the responsible, this and the other. We need to understand that there is a person that's missing. And what I was saying about the husband giving the interview a little too early in the search was that they're going to judge everything that he says, especially if he's the last person to see her alive, right? I'm praying that she's alive, right? But he was the last person to have seen her since she went missing on Saturday, right? And here is this man giving the interview, and just people are analyzing on the internet everything that he's doing, every movement, every facial expression, everything that he says, right? And he did spoke, and he spoke a lot. I think he gave a lot of information. I don't have the video. I don't have the video. Maybe I'll put a little bit of it so that you guys can understand what I'm referring to. We'll see if they allow me to do it, because obviously it's not my video. But it's just it's just crazy. Like I said, that right now, nobody's coming forward and saying, oh yeah, I saw her, passing by, or I saw her on her way, and this and the other. And the interesting thing about this case is that her car is a blue, I believe it's a blue, bright shiny blue Honda CRV. Like, are you serious? Nobody's in that car. You know how hard? I mean, if you tell me it's a white car or a black car, maybe that's kind of like people, they won't recognize it. But a blue shiny car, like people, you recognize it right away. The same thing with red cars, right? So that's another thing that's interesting. So, like I said, she's 53 years old, and her name is Linda Brown, missing out of the Chicago Brownsville area. Was last seen on Saturday as she was leaving her house to go to a doctor's appointment. And the husband said that she has her phone and that her phone is ringing. I don't understand that there's an official missing person search going on for her right now, because it's on the press, it's on the news, it's on the press, and there's a flyer and everything, but they cannot track her phone down. Like, the husband is saying she has her purse, her credit cards, her keys, and she's driving in a bright blue car. Why? I mean, it's so hard to believe that none of that is being able to be tracked. Like, none of that. I can understand maybe not using the credit card, but the phone. I think, it's 2026, right? Everybody has one of those traceable phones, right? That the police can probably pinpoint exactly where the location is, right? Or maybe I'm wrong, right? And then also, how come there hasn't been any witnesses, maybe a neighbor who heard them? I already said don't jump to conclusions so fast, but it's kind of hard. I'm just giving like ideas. There's no neighbors that said, oh yeah, I heard them arguing, or they always arguing to each other, or she left early morning, she basically stormed out of the house, she slammed the door, they were arguing, screaming at each other, something like this. They said on Friday night they watched the movie, went to bed. In the early hours of Saturday, she left for her appointment, and then around 1 p.m., this is what the husband said, around 1 p.m. this past Saturday, he started getting nervous because she usually will call him to let him know where she was at, and she hasn't done that. And then she started calling her, and then he called the doctor's office, and they said she never came. She was never here for the appointment. So very, very strange. They're very concerned. The family is very concerned because I heard in another interview that they were giving that she was recently taking time off to deal with some type of mental health issues that she was dealing with. So they're very concerned about her safety. In the interview that I told you about, that video that the husband gave, he's saying how, if you see her, offer her help or something like this. He said maybe she needs help or things like that. It's just, it's very sad. I really hope that she's found safe. I know it's very tempting to kind of like look at the husband, especially look at, like I said, he spoke way too soon to the press. Everybody's going to analyze everything that he says. But we need to remember, guys, it's a new year, right? So what do people do, especially, that's why you have to always, fast and pray. That's why I think a lot of the churches, they begin this fast and prayer thing, encouraging people to do it, because the beginning of a new year it can be very hard for a lot of people, right? You begin to kind of like analyze your life and where you are right now, and I really hope that she's found safe. They were saying that she was taking time off, like I said, for some mental health, and it was just January the 3rd that she went missing. So hopefully, she's found safe. We pray that she's found safe, and whoever is responsible or knows something was, or is keeping her, like, maybe she was just trying to get some time off, right? And there's her friend or somebody that she knows that she met is saying you can stay here, just take your time or something. But right now, I'm thinking that's not the case, because now it's already all over the news, right? And it's kind of like a big thing right now. So the family say this is not a voluntary thing that she might do. They don't believe that she will just walk off and like never return or something. So somebody knows something. And you know what I was just thinking just now as I'm speaking to you? That appointment that she has on Saturday is a very routine appointment. So hopefully there wasn't anybody like watching her move, right? That they know that she will go to this appointment on a Saturday. And because these days, people stalk all the time. Yesterday was National Stalking Day or Against Stalking Day or something like this. That was put into official thing back in 2008. I didn't even know that was a thing, but the stalking is in an all-time high. People are crazy. Like they will research anything and everything and watch your every move, right? That's very problematic, right? And the reason that I'm bringing that up about stalking is because they say she has this routine appointment. Excuse me, my voice is so dry. She has this routine appointment every Saturday, so hopefully it's not somebody that will see her and maybe was waiting for her or something like this. So we just pray that she's found safe. Again, she has the husband said that she has her phone and the phone is ringing and she has her credit cards and things like that. And most importantly, guys, she is driving a bright blue Honda CRV. Okay, so I'm gonna put her photo here. I'm gonna put her poster so you can share on your social media. Let me know, guys, what you think about this, and if there's any new update, because cases like this tend to, information changes very quickly. You can leave it in the comments. Thank you so much. We pray that she's found safe. Thank you so much for coming to the channel. Thank you to everybody who's listening in the podcast. Have a good day. God bless.